What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the J&J podcast, One Man Army episode. It looks weird. I know I got the table here. I just wanted to try some new things out. Y'all probably might say I look like I'm getting interrogated, but I just wanted to try something new. Today's episode got a few topics I wanted to talk about. One of them being the Knicks winning the NBA Cup. Shout out to my Knicks. My thoughts on that. Reacting to ESPN's top 25 under 25 list. I know that came out, I think it was on Monday. So I just wanted to give my thoughts on that. My NBA wish list, since Christmas is around the corner, I wanted to give some things that I'm hoping for um, into the new year. And then some news around the league. The NBA will be cracking down on tanking. A report came out that from Shams that Adam Silver is going to be cracking down on some of the tanking teams and possibly readjusting some of the lottery odds and some things like that. So we'll see what happens in the future. Kevin Garnett's jersey will be retired by the Minnesota Timberwolves. Shout out to him. He just took on a role with Minnesota with the Timberwolves and the Lynx. So he's going to be working with them and he will be getting his jersey retired. So shout out to Ticket. Darren Peterson, Kansas guard, freshman, the projected number one pick in this upcoming 2026 NBA draft. He has been shut down for the remainder of this season. He was dealing with a hamstring injury and he played a couple games this season. He impressed in most of the games that he's played, and he looks very well. But that hamstring injury it's just been lingering all year, and it's kind of been like, is he gonna play? Is he not? So now Kansas finally came out and said that they're shutting him down, and I guess just to give my thoughts on it real quick because I'm not gonna dive in like on a big topic on it. I think I'm kind of like on both sides. Like some people want him to play, or before the news came out, some people were just like, "Oh, he should come back and play because it gives Kansas the best chance to win." But he should. But I also see the people saying that he should sit out because the goal is going to be NBA. The potential, like you don't want to ruin your NBA career over your 6 month stint in college. So I do see both sides. I I think I'm in favor for this one of him sitting out just because the hamstring injury is just a lingering injury and you don't really want to mess with that. So I'm not mad at him deciding to sit out the remainder of the season and just focus on the draft, focus on his career because at the end of the day, it is his career. So, and I also think it gives Kansas that, I don't want to say relief, but it also just gets that off. Like they don't have to worry about that anymore because as a player or on the coaching staff, you're just like, is Darren coming back? Is he not? And now you kind of you already know now that he's not coming back, so you could just move on and continue with the season. And the last thing, this isn't going to be a big topic, but news that I wanted to bring on. But Jason Tatum plans to come back this season. Per Chris Haynes, he told Chris Haynes that he's expecting to come back this season, and if he does, I don't know. He looks really good in his workouts. That recovery is insane. Um, this guy is unbelievable. But if he does come back and he's like 80% of what he was last season, that's gonna be scary for the rest of the league. But I wanted to start the show off with the NBA Cup. My thoughts. I guess starting with the semifinal game, we can start with the Thunder and Spurs game. The Thunder Spurs game was a fantastic game. Victor Wembanyama coming off the bench, first game back from injury, and he really showed why he's potentially going to be one of the top players in the league. His impact was felt immediately when he came into that game. He didn't play in the first quarter. Second quarter, he came in and he really changed everything. A lot of people were changing their shots at the rim. Nobody were trying to get shots off. And he really took over in that fourth quarter. 15 points in the fourth quarter, and even when his shots weren't falling at times, he knew how to get to the free throw line to stop the run that OKC was going on. And I really feel like the Spurs put the league on notice in terms of this core is a little bit ahead of schedule. And I see Stan Van Gundy talking about this team as a contender in the NBA. And I don't think he's crazy for thinking that. I think as long as Victor Wembanyama's on the court playing, you're gonna have a chance to beat anybody. And I think it's gonna be scary for the teams in the Western Conference because I feel like the Spurs are the type of team that they can really mess things up for one of the teams in the West that have aspirations for going far into the playoffs. And what the Spurs are doing with their three guard lineup, I don't think they should even mess with it in a potential Giannis trade. De'Aaron Fox has played very well, especially in the absence of Victor Wembanyama. So, and I think just to have him alongside Dylan Harper to kind of teach him and grow with him, I think it's a big thing for them. And I think Dylan Harper, I've said it multiple times on this show, I think Dylan Harper is going to be a future all-star, all-NBA type of player. And I think for him to be in this role and everything is simplified for him, he's not like the lead point guard with all these responsibilities and duties. Everything is simplified for him. It's only going to help him grow throughout his career. And what better guy to learn from than De'Aaron Fox? And then Stephon Castle, that he's great. Some of the finishes he had in that semifinal game against OKC was unbelievable. He was doing like 360 finishes. And when he's going downhill, he's tough to stop. And then his energy on the defensive end, you can't ask for more than that. So what they have with those three guys, it's something that a lot of teams are probably envious of. And I think they could use that to their advantage. And they shouldn't rush for like a win now trade because what they have with this group, I think they have something that they could build on. I don't think that they're going to be NBA champions this season, but I do think they could really mess up somebody's hopes. The Knicks Magic game, physical game. This was the fourth matchup between these two teams in the semifinal. I was expecting it to be like the game kind of went how I expected, just like hard fought throughout the whole game. But the biggest thing, man, it was just the captain, Jalen Brunson, doing his thing, setting the tone with this team. In this game, 40 points. I believe he had like 20 in the first half or 25 in the first half. He set the tone immediately. And this team is, I've been telling people all week, this team is completely different with OG Anunoby on the floor. And that statement is only more prevalent going into the final game. Beating that Orlando Magic team, it just felt good just because of the two times they beat us prior. And it felt like we were having issues with them. And it was like, all right, this is the team that's giving us the most problems. And I know Magic fans are going to be like, oh, we didn't have Franz. Jalen Suggs got hurt. And I guess because every time we've played the Magic, I think we've dealt with injuries on both sides. The first time we played them, I think Paolo got hurt. Second time we played them, we were without OG, and I think Shamet got hurt that game. And then the third time we played them, Franz got hurt, and then Deuce got hurt. And then this fourth time we played them, Jalen Suggs got hurt, and they were playing without Franz. And we're playing without Deuce and Shamet still. So it's never been a fully healthy matchup between these two teams. But even then, you still got to play who's in front of you. But to still come out with that win and the way that they won, it was just really inspiring. To win those games in the Cup were just super inspiring. And then moving on to the final, San Antonio and the Knicks. This was another game. I was like, all right, this is going to be a tough one. Because going into it, I'm thinking All right, the Spurs are probably gonna put Josh Hart, or they're probably gonna put Wembanyama on Josh Hart, force him to shoot more threes. And to Josh Hart's credit, he's been knocking down his 3 pointers this season. But maybe I'm thinking the Spurs are gonna try to test that. And the Spurs came out as I expected. The younger team, younger legs, going out athletic. And one of the biggest weaknesses for the Knicks is transition defense. And the Spurs really exploited that, especially in that second half, the third quarter. That's when it looked like the Spurs were gonna go on their run. Because there was a point where I'm like, all right, this game is over. The Knicks of old, the Knicks of last year, and to me that would have been like, yeah, we lost this game. But that's the one thing I really love about this Knicks team so far this season is the fight in this team. Even when we're down, we're just storming back. And I know people will probably say it's crazy to say because they're like, you've had like 3 20-point comebacks last year in the playoffs. I'm like, yeah, that is true. But I feel like during the regular season last year, I didn't really see that. It was mostly in the playoffs we saw that. So I guess to see the fight from this team, when you feel like it's gonna be over, and when you feel like San Antonio's going on a run, when Wemby hit one of those threes in the third quarter, I was like, I think this might be over. But again, OG Anunoby, like I said earlier, this is a different team with OG Anunoby. This is a completely different team. And when those Giannis trades were at its like heat at its peak, and it was like OG, Cat have to be in the trade. And I understand why. Like those are the players that Milwaukee, I guess, would want, the most highly coveted players that they would want. But just based on the last couple of games, I'm like, I would not. I just wouldn't want to make a Giannis trade. Like as crazy as it sounds, and people saying, "Damn, you bugging. You don't want Giannis on the Knicks." I'm like, obviously, I would love Giannis on the Knicks. I would take him in a heartbeat. But to give up what we got to give up, and seeing the way the Knicks have been playing, lately as a group, as a unit, without Deuce McBride, without Landry Shamet, it's just really inspiring. And I feel like this team another goes to another level when OG Anunoby is playing at his best. And we saw that in the championship game. He set the tone. He scored 20 points in the first half. I believe he finished with 28. He had that three in Wembanyama's face. And I can't say enough good things about OG Anunoby. After that game, I'm like, yo, I'm this close to buying an OG Anunoby jersey. And I was a guy who wasn't even the highest on that trade when it first happened. I'll admit that right here. But yeah, he takes his team to a new level that I can't even like explain. But yeah, and Jalen Brunson continuing to be the captain clutch that he is in the fourth quarter. In the first half, he was kind of shaky in this game, but he really took us home in that fourth quarter, just hitting mid-range shot after mid-range shot, really putting pressure on the defense. There were some moments that like I saw in this game that I didn't see from him last year, where he would get the ball and San Antonio's defense is still in transition trying to get back, and he's putting pressure, attacking the rim and finishing, and just putting that pressure on the San Antonio defense. It's things like that in Mike Brown's system that it took time for it to come to fruition. So we kind of see that happening now. And the guy I'm the most happy for from this NBA Cup championship game is Mitchell Robinson. Mitchell Robinson was probably the biggest story of this game, grabbing 10 offensive rebounds, 15 rebounds total. And he was really the swing factor in this NBA Cup game. He made Victor Wembanyama look small out there, as impossible as that might sound. But I'm probably the most happy for Mitchell Robinson. He deserved it. He deserves to have that moment to be celebrated. He is the longest tenured Knick on the team. And for him to play and have a game like that on that stage just shows me that and it might sound funny to people like casual fans or like non-Knicks fans, but to me, Mitchell Robinson is a NBA championship caliber player. His effort, his fight on the glass, especially the offensive glass, is the reason why one of the Knicks' biggest strengths is rebounding, and in particular offensive rebounding. He creates so many second chance points, and him getting those offensive rebounds and kicking it back out to Clarkson for three, it was just giving me chills because I'm like, he was really here for the dark days, and now he's here when we have these aspirations, and I love that he's still here for it, and he deserves all the flowers. I do not want to trade that man at all. And all this talk about getting Dante back and all this, and I would love Dante, but any trade that requires Mitchell Robinson, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good on that. And I'm just really happy that he's able to be a part of this because he's another guy. He elevates his team so much, and I can't really thank him enough. And I guess on the discussion of the banner, a lot of people just were like, it was a lot of back and forth about whether the Knicks should raise the banner or not, and ultimately they elected not to raise the banner. And a lot of people were split. Kendrick Perkins was on First Take saying that, oh, it's a bad look on the Knicks for not raising the banner. And I don't know. Me personally, I thought that they shouldn't raise the banner. Um, I just was like, they won it. You saw the celebration that they had. It meant a lot for them. Like they took it serious. But I wasn't mad at them not raising the banner. They said they have championship aspirations. They want to raise the championship banner. I'm okay with that. If they don't want to raise the cup banner, that's fine. I know the Bucks and the Lakers raised the banner in previous years, but I wasn't upset at them. But it's also like when you're the Knicks, you're gonna get hate regardless. And I say this to everybody that's like, I don't know what you wanted the Knicks to do. If they raise the banner, you got people saying, "Oh, look at them raising that cup banner. That shit don't mean nothing. That's the only thing they gonna win." But then you don't raise the banner, they be like, "Why they acting like they win all the time? They should raise it because they don't win shit. They haven't raised anything since 1973. They should be happy. Raise that shit now because you're not winning shit again." So it's like either side is gonna be chatter. So I'm like, what's the point? I'm like, I'd rather just not raise it. Good thing this was 2025. We all saw the game. You have the video. You could go back. You saw how they celebrated. We have the trophy. It's written in history. Jalen Brunson, NBA Cup MVP. It's all there. Like you can find it. You don't need a banner to solidify that. Like all the footage is still there. So I'm not upset at them not raising the banner. I'm on the same page as them. I would like to raise a NBA championship banner, a Eastern Conference winner banner, and I guess to a lesser degree an Atlantic Division banner. I know it may not matter in NBA, but to me personally, winning the division matters to me because the Knicks have not won the Atlantic Division since I think 2013. So yeah, so the whole banner talk, I'm not really like everybody else about it. Going into reacting to the top 25 under 25 list. This is from ESPN. So I'm gonna see this list and just give my thoughts on it. I haven't looked at the full list. This is my first time looking at it. But at 25, we got Reed Shepherd. Okay. Last year he was not on the list. This year he's averaging 13 points a game, 44% from three. Him at 25. So I gotta take a mental note as I go of like, all right, who's on, who's off, who's a little bit too high, who's too low. 25 for Reed Shepherd, I feel like I feel like that's fine. Um, I really have to see the names that's coming up. There's a guy in my head right now. I'm not sure if he's on the list, but I would definitely put him on because I don't know if this list is based on like current production and future potential, or if they're all just banking on potential. Because there's a guy in my head right now that maybe he don't have the potential, I guess, as some of these guys, but right now he's killing them in terms of production. Number 24, we got Asar Thompson. Um, I guess this is a good spot for him for now. It's really hard. It's for me when it comes to lists like these, the toughest ones to gauge are always the guys from like 25 to like 15 or 13. I feel like the top 10 is pretty is a lot easier, or I could kind of dispute which guy should be in there and who shouldn't. Josh Giddey at 23. That's fair. If you want to say he could be a little bit higher, I'm not mad at that at all, but I think this is like the right range for him. Alex Sarr at 22. I think he's improved tremendously this year. I think you could argue he should be a little bit higher, just based on the season he's having this year. And I know the Wizards are dog shit, and they're the worst team in the NBA, or one of the worst teams in the NBA. But his improvement this year, some people were calling him a bust last year, which is crazy. But this year he's averaging 19, 8.5 rebounds and 2 blocks. And I still think he's getting better, and the future is bright for this kid. 22, I think you could probably make the kid. I mean, subjective, like the rankings and all the, like 22 now, you could argue he could be at like 19. 21, you got Jalen Suggs. I like Jalen Suggs. I don't know about 21 though. I think he could probably be lower. Because if you're just going on current production, he's playing well. He's averaging 15 points, almost 5 assists a game and 2 steals. And then the potential, I don't think there's more potential you could go with Jalen Suggs. I feel like what he is now is basically like what he's going to be for the rest of his career. Maybe the 3-point shot gets a little bit better, but I feel like he could probably be a little bit lower because the guys behind him, I mean, yeah, you got Sarr, Giddey, Asar Thompson. Yeah, Asar Thompson, like, I don't know, just a little bit better offensive game. He would be over Suggs, and with a passable 3-point shot, because defensively he's up there with the elite. And then Reed Shepherd, I guess, I don't know. So I think Suggs, you could put him like a couple spots lower. Dyson Daniels at 20. I'm gonna keep it a stack. I think he shouldn't even be on this list, low key. And that might be harsh to say, but I think a lot of this is probably being carried from last season. Because this season he's been pretty underwhelming. I know he's had a couple decent games as of late, but I don't think his production this year, or based on what you've seen this year and what you think his potential is, should warrant him being a top 20 guy. Currently averaging 11 points a game, 6 rebounds, 2 steals. He ranked 23rd last year. And last year was, I guess, yeah, so this is literally just based on last season. Because last year he was 23rd, and now this year he's 20th. So he actually moved up. But if we're just taking into this season into account and what you think his potential is, I don't think he should be on this list at all. I mean, if you put him at 25, would I be upset? No. But to put him at 20, nah, I don't think so. VJ Edgecombe at 19, having had a hot start to the rookie year. I'm not gonna say he hit the rookie wall, but has kind of slipped a little bit, but he's still playing really well. Just played my Knicks yesterday, and he had a fantastic game. He set the tone in that third quarter and ultimately won them the game with the key plays that he had. But I think VJ Edgecombe is going to be fine. 19 is a good spot for him just based on production and where you think he's going to go up into potential wise. He was a guy that I wasn't particularly high on coming into the league, but he has shut me up completely. And I think he's only going to get better. The backcourt pairing with him and Maxey is a scary one with the speed and athleticism between the two of them, and they're only going to make each other better. He's only going to continue to climb. He kind of reminds me of Victor Oladipo, like Orlando Magic Victor Oladipo. If he could reach Indiana Oladipo, that'd be some scary shit. But I don't think 19 is bad. Dylan Harper at 18. I guess they're just gonna bunch all the rookies together. Dylan Harper at 18. 13.4, 4 assists, 3 rebounds. He's been putting some really good games together as of late. And I think he is a guy that was so early in the season, how he's played so far. I think it should be scary for other teams, because I think as the season goes on, he's going to get even better with the game just slowing down and him just getting better throughout the season. He already plays like a guy that's been in the league for a couple years already. He's only a rookie. He's only 19. So with the things he's done already, I'm already super impressed. And 18 is a valid spot. We'll see who's in front of him. But with the potential, yeah, like I said earlier, I think he's going to be an all-star caliber player. Number 17, we got Con Knipple. 18 points a game, 5.5 rebounds, 40% from 3. I think, this came out on, I think, Monday. He's averaging like 19.3 now. But shout out to Con Knipple. He is everybody. I said it last episode too, and I will keep saying it. My favorite player in the draft. I was hyping this guy up, saying there is no chance that he fails in the NBA, and I am right. I cannot express how proud I am of Con Knipple, the way he's been playing this year. Him and Cooper Flag are literally battling out, going toe to toe for Rookie of the Year. And the Charlotte Hornets front office actually said recently that they are viewing and preparing to build this team around Con and potentially shopping LaMelo Ball. And I don't know how I feel about that. Like, as much as I like Con Knipple, I don't know. I don't think he's the type of guy that you build your franchise around. I always viewed him as like one of the pieces that you put next to the guy. Do I think LaMelo's the guy? I feel like it's trending towards no. I mean, he has the talent, but I don't think Con Knipple's the guy you build your franchise around. But we'll see. I mean, I'm not against it. More shots for Con. I'm not mad at it. Let him shine. So I'm cool with that. 17, I think, is a good spot, especially with the remaining names that we haven't heard yet coming in or coming up. 16, we got Stephon Castle. All right, so far this is pretty fair. Stephon Castle this year, 18 points a game, 7 assists, 6 rebounds. And I think this is fine. 16, the 16th spot. He's improved tremendously from last season. The finishing ability, the decision making. I think the one area in question for him is going to be the 3-point shooting, and I think that is going to come along. Especially, I think it's just going to come along from him. He has so much. I think this dude is a worker. Like, he really gets out there and he tries to work on his game, and I think it's gonna be possible for him. I don't know if he'll ever be like an off the dribble 3-point threat, but I don't think he necessarily needs that. with the dynamic guard play that they have already in San Antonio, he might not even need to add all that to his game um entirely. So I think just the rim pressure he provides is so valuable already from the three guards, honestly. So I think as long as he's a capable and passable 3-point shooter, I think he's gonna improve and potentially climb up a little bit on this list. I don't think I see him ever cracking like the top 10 on one of these lists. I think he'll probably hover around the 15 to 12 range. 15, we got Denny Avdia. He's currently averaging 26 a game, 7 rebounds, 6 assists. Denny is hooping. I don't know if you guys saw me post on the Instagram account. Follow that if you don't already, at the J&J Podcast 1. I posted a tweet from 2020. It was a tweet that I had that said, Denny Avdia is going to be good. And I think this was like August of 2020. And I had faith back then. This was back when the Knicks had the 8th pick. So I'm looking at different dudes that the Knicks should draft. Denny was one of them that I was really high on. Ironically, Halliburton was up there too. But the improvement from Denny this year has been tremendous. He has been the leader of this Portland Trailblazers team offensively. And and his ability to get to the free throw line, it's been really impressive to see what he's been able to do. When I was watching film on him when he was coming into the draft, I had my high expectations. One of his biggest flaws was the 3-point efficiency. But I knew that would eventually come around. But the things he's doing now, I did not expect him to ever reach a point to get to. But he's currently probably the most improved player favorite. He's low key playing like he is playing like an all-star, but he low key has a chance to be an all-star. And I think 15, this might be the highest he ever reaches on this list. I don't know if I don't think he gets higher than this. But this is a crazy shout out to him, because I would have never thought he would get this high. 15 is really, really something to be proud of. Yeah, I hope he continues this level of play, because I think the Portland Trailblazers are a sneaky team. They're a team that you cannot like walk into their building and say this is going to be an easy game, because it's not. At 14, we got Jalen Duren. 19 points a game, 11.5 rebounds, 65% from the field. I like this spot for him. He's another guy who is playing like an all-star, could potentially be an all-star this season. He's had a tremendous year. And him and Kate are really spearheading the amazing Pistons start that they've had to this season. And the Pistons deserve the recognition to have 2 all-star representatives from their team. And he's been playing great. I remember the beginning of the season, well, it's still early in the season, but people were saying like, this guy's Dwight Howard 2.0. So to be able to see that and to see his improvement, I think it's gonna be hard to say he's gonna be higher, because he's still so young. He's only like 22, I believe. I think he just turned 22. And to see the improvement he's had already, I don't want to say he could be higher just because he's still so young. My hesitancy is just because the young talent that we have in this draft and the potential coming from next year's draft or 2026 draft. I think with the new wave of talent, it's going to be hard to stay at that spot. He'll probably be another dude who's hovering between 17 and like 14. So I could see that for him, but this has been a really big improvement year for him. At 13, we got Paolo Banchero, 20 points, 8 rebounds, 3.8 assists. This is like, I guess this is fine for him. This is kind of a little bit of a down year. I mean, I know he dealt with the injury He got hurt during the first Knicks game back in November, and then he came back. Has been kind of shaky to say the least. And I know a lot of people have been kind of down on him this year. Everybody's saying that Franz is better, all of this. And it's funny because Franz is literally one spot higher at 12 and 22.7, 6 rebounds, 4 assists. Um and now Franz is dealing with the injury. So it's like the tough thing about Orlando is like both like this is 2 years in a row where both guys can't be healthy at the same time. And that's been the story for the last season and a half. So I think right now it's really just subjective why both of these are like a spot apart. Like if you put Paolo at 12 and Franz at 13, I wouldn't be upset at that. It really just comes down to subjective. I feel like at this point, I've always been a team Paolo's better than Franz guy. I said that on the last episode, just because to me that the playoffs, what Paolo's been able to do in the playoffs, just it holds a little bit more weight to me. But Franz, I can't ignore that he has been in the regular season so far. He has looked better than Paolo, and I'm not mad at that. So I basically did both of them together. So now I'm going to 11. 11, we got Scotty Barnes, 19.7, 8 rebounds, almost 2 blocks a game. He has every right to be this high. Just because the turnaround Toronto's had this season, a lot of people could credit that to Brandon Ingram and some of the pieces that they got. But Scotty Barnes has really set the tone for this team defensively and what they've been able to do. And with the absence of RJ Barrett, I know people are going to be like, ooh, RJ Barrett, but he's a key part for this team for what they're trying to do offensively. Quickly's missed a few games. But what Scotty Barnes has been able to do on the defensive end, on top of him stuffing the stat sheet as an offensive player, he's really putting a lot on his plate and delivering for the Raptors. So I think he's kind of been underrated this year. And I know we've seen the Raptors kind of take a little bit of a dip, but we saw them peak at the 2 seed. If we want to do that, but I think they've made the strides, the necessary strides as a team, and a lot of that really falls on Scotty Barnes. So this also could potentially be the highest he ever reaches on a list like this. Number 10, we got Jalen Johnson, 23, 10.5 rebounds. Oh, 10.5. Oh, they messed up with the typo. 10.5 rebounds and 8 assists. He is playing his ass off right now. I feel like every time I watch a Hawks game, this dude either has a triple-double or he's like a couple assists away from a triple-double. And I'm not going to lie, I'm kind of cheating right now, seeing who's on the list ahead of him. I only went up a couple spots, but he low-key should be higher on this list. If we're just going based on this year, even if we're going on potential, I mean, I don't really have like an idea in my mind what his ceiling is. He's still only 23 years old, and the things he's doing right now is insane. The Hawks have been, I'm not gonna say they've been like amazing since Trae Young's been out and he's kind of taken over as the leader of this team. They were over 500, and now we have to see how this team plays with Trae Young back. But I think this is his team now. This is no longer like Trae Young is no longer the best player on this team. I think Jalen Johnson is the guy on the Hawks. This is his team. Like there is no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And I know a lot of people want the Hawks to be the Giannis team. I'm not really a fan of it because it's like some people are like, you got to trade Jalen Johnson to get Giannis, and I guess that's fair for Milwaukee, but like, why the fuck would you do that if you're Atlanta? Like, you're gonna pair Trae Young and Giannis? Like, that don't even make sense. Giannis isn't even like a pick and roll player. He likes to have the ball, and that's just gonna make Trae Young just like. But then what else are you gonna do? You're gonna trade Trae Young and pair Giannis and Jalen Johnson? I'm not the biggest fan of that either. I kind of like what they got going on. I feel like maybe pieces around the margins could be something something valuable for them. Maybe with that Pelicans pick that they got, they could potentially get a top 3 pick in this draft. Darren Peterson with this team, him and Jalen Johnson could be something scary. Or even maybe AJ Devonza and Jalen Johnson could be another scary thing. But we'll see. That's something for the future. But I'm going to pay attention to that 10 spot for Jalen Johnson because he low-key could be and should be higher. Chet Holmgren at 9, 18.9 points a game, 8 rebounds a game. At 9, I think I would put Jalen Johnson ahead of him. I know Chet is anchoring the best defense in the NBA and all of that. Counting stats are good. I would put Jalen Johnson. And people can't really get mad. It's only one spot, but we'll see. But me personally, just based on this season, I would put Jalen Johnson. And even if we talk in future. Number 8, we got Cooper Flag. Currently averaging 17.3 points a game, 6.3 assists. 6.3 rebounds, 3.3 assists. Has really stepped up ever since that Clippers game where he scored 35. He just recently passed LeBron in, what was it, youngest player to score 40 in a game. Cooper Flag scored 42 the other day. I think LeBron scored 41 against the Nets when he was 19. Cooper Flag doesn't turn 19 until tomorrow. So he already has a 40-point game under his belt, and he just looks way more comfortable. And this is something that I've noticed with Cooper Flag throughout his whole career. He gets better within a season. Like, the more comfortable he gets, he just elevates within the season. And I think that point guard Cooper Flag shit was embarrassing. Not really on his part, but just on the coaching staff to even suggest that. But ever since he's returned to his regular position, I think he's played fantastic. And 8 is a fine spot for him. If we're taking potential into consideration. And I think Jalen Johnson obviously has had the better statistical year this season, but if we're going by potential, then yeah, I would put Coop over Jalen Johnson. Number 7, we got Evan Mobley with 18.9 points, 9 rebounds, and almost 2 blocks a game. Mobley has played well this season, but I feel like he still leaves more to be desired. And I feel like I don't have the stats in front of me, but I'm going to look it up. But he just got hurt, so now things are going to take a dip. But the Cavs have been very underwhelming this year. It's actually kind of embarrassing. They lost 2 back-to-back games to the Chicago Bulls. And I don't know. Their defense is falling off. And you can't even really say that's because Evan Mobley got hurt, because he's only been out for, I think, 2 games now or 3. And I think their defense has fell down to 12th. And I think a lot of his production has been almost similar to last year's. Points per game has went up a little bit, but I know a lot of people, including myself, were expecting more from him. And I would actually put Jalen Johnson ahead of him on this list. I think Evan Mobley being this high has to do a lot because of last season. Him winning the Defensive Player of the Year, the Cavs having that tremendous season that they had, especially the start of the season, being, I think they were the 8th best defense last year. Him being the anchor of that. 7, I feel like is a little bit rich to me. Last year he was 8th. Him being 8th last year is fine. Like, I'm not mad at that. 7 this year I think it's a little bit much. I'd put Jalen Johnson over him this year. I would low key probably put Chet over him this year too. And yeah, so I would move him back a couple spots. At 6 we have Amen Thompson, 17.4 points per game, 7 rebounds, 5 assists. Amen Thompson at 6. I feel like it feels a little bit too high. I think Call me crazy. I think I would put Jalen Johnson here at 6 too. I'll put Jalen Johnson here at 6. I think I'd put Cooper Flag behind Jalen Johnson. Then I'd put Chet and then Evan Mobley. And then I'd probably put a men between Chet and Evan Mobley around those spots. I mean, Amen Thompson is just doing what I feel like Amen Thompson is just doing basically what he's done last year. It's just the expectations are higher, and what he did last year, I feel like put a lot of people on notice, and we've talked about it on the show a bunch of times. Amen Thompson is a good player, but I feel like he kind of gets overrated in like the media sense. Like he's a good player, but I feel like he gets hyped up into like conversations that he shouldn't be in. Like, look, last year he ranked 22nd. This year he ranked 6th. And the stats are pretty much similar. I know he's getting to the free throw line a lot more this year, but I don't think that should signify that significant of a jump. But I don't think but where I have him isn't like too far behind this. I would probably put him back to like maybe the 7-ish range. I mean, well, he's at 6. Actually, no, not 7. Maybe like the 8, 9-ish range. I think which is perfectly fine. And still, you're jumping up. You're basically doubling your spot from last year or more than that. So I think 6 is a little bit too high for me, but he's still within that top 10 range for me. 5, we got Alperen Şengün, 23.9, 7 assists. Last year he was 10th. 5 is, I'm not mad at 5 for Alperen Şengün. What he's been doing this year has been amazing. He has been the go-to guy for the Houston Rockets. He's even lately been their guy down the stretch. And he's a guy who should get his All-Star appearance again this year. 5, I'm not mad at. He could probably be, I'm not even gonna argue because I was gonna say he could be one more spot, but I'm not really fussing over one more spot. But this is a good spot for him. 4, J-Dub. Damn. 4 is kind of. So like, yeah, a lot of this is just based. I don't know why they're not just honest about it, because a lot of this, I guess, is just based on last season mixed with potential, because none of this is based on this season. Because J-Dub has only played like what, 6 games maybe this year, and you have him at 4, and then with the potential, I don't know. I feel like 4 is kind of rich for me. I think I would put Şengün at 4. I would, if we're just, I don't know, y'all. Who would y'all take, J-Dub or Jalen Johnson, like going forward? I think I would take Jalen Johnson low key. I think I would move Jalen Johnson a little bit higher. You guys might think I'm glazing, but Jalen Johnson's been incredible this season. I think 4 is kind of high for J-Dub. I'm not gonna lie. I think Şengün should take that 4th spot, even though it's only one spot. But I think the top 3 might be pretty. I think, the top 3 is pretty solidified. We got Cade at 3, 27.5 points a game, 9.3 assists, 6.4 rebounds. Last year he ranked 13th. This year he's 3rd. All NBA caliber player, MVP caliber player. This is a fine spot for him. I'm not mad at this at all. Cade Cunningham is continuing to get better and improving every single year. And I'm just happy for him that Detroit is no longer the laughingstock that they were 2 years ago. And now they are sitting at the top of the East, number 1 seed. And he is leading the charge for that. So I think this is a fine spot. Anthony Edwards, number 2, 28.7 points a game, 4.9 rebounds, 41% from 3. Last year he was number 2, so he stays right here. Not mad at this at all. Ant-Man doing his thing. Don't even have to say much about him. And then number 1, we all knew Victor Wembanyama, 26 points per game this season, 13 rebounds, basically 4 blocks, 3.6. Um, nothing has to be. I don't even have to say anything about Vic. He's gonna be number one regardless, even if he plays fucking 4 games. It don't matter. Um, Guys that fell off the list. I'm guessing people that no longer qualify because of age. Tyrese Halliburton, Tyrese Maxey, LaMelo Ball's not on here at all. I think I'd put LaMelo. How old is Tyrese Maxey? I'm about to look up Tyrese Maxey's age. So it's 25 and under. But shouldn't you? So I guess you're off the list if you're 25. Damn. Tyrese Maxey. Tyrese Maxey is 25 years old. He just turned 25 in November. All right, so yeah, under 25. Okay. So yeah, he aged out. LaMelo Ball. Last year he was 12. This year he's not on the list at all. Let me go back to the top. LaMelo Ball. Yeah, I'd put LaMelo over Reed Shepherd. I put LaMelo over Asar. LaMelo and Josh Giddey is like conversation. LaMelo, Alex. All right, so if I was to put LaMelo, I'd put him like, for me, LaMelo would be between 23 and 20. That's where I would have LaMelo. Or 23 to 19. He'd be in that range. Because you cannot sit here and tell me that you'd rather have Dyson Daniels, Jalen Suggs, Alex Sarr, in the future over LaMelo Ball. You can't tell me that with a straight face. Josh Giddey, that's an argument. That's fine. I'm okay with that. Asar Thompson or LaMelo. I'd rather have LaMelo right now. Like, and then Reed Shepherd or LaMelo. I'd rather have LaMelo. So I think between the 23 to 19 range is where I would have LaMelo. For him to not be here at all is kind of crazy. Yeah, LaMelo's still, I think, well, LaMelo's 24, so Darius Garland aged out. Brandon Miller's not on this list at all. Wow. Brandon Miller, where would I have him on this? Brandon Miller over Reed Shepherd. I feel like the biggest thing with Brandon Miller is the health, because I think if it wasn't for the health, I think Brandon Miller I would probably put between 25 and 22 or 25 and 21. Because fully healthy, like if they're both fully healthy, like I'd rather have Brandon Miller over Jalen Suggs. I'd rather have him and Asar as a convo. And then Reed Shepherd. I like Reed Shepherd. I don't know what they think he's gonna be. I don't know what they think his ceiling is gonna be, but I think Brandon Miller deserves to be in like the 25 to 22-ish range. Zion aged out. Derek Lively is left. He was 19th last year. I don't think Derek Lively deserves to be on this list at all, so that's fine. Jalen Green last year was 20th. This year he's not on it. I'm not really mad at him being left off. If anything, he could probably be at like 20. If he was on this list for me, he probably would have been 25th, so I'm not really mad. Tyler Hero aged out. Tari Eason was 24th last year. This year he's not on it. That's fine. He shouldn't be on it. And Koulibaly last year was 25th, and this year he's not on it. That's perfectly fine. He don't need to be on it. One guy that I think deserved some love to be on this list that wasn't on this list, and I'm curious to hear why, or maybe what you guys would think, or if you guys think I'm crazy for even suggesting it. But I think a guy that should have been on this list that wasn't is Keontae George from the Utah Jazz. Currently 22 years old. This year he's having a really, really good season, and I feel like people aren't really talking about it. In that he was my favorite player coming out of that 2023 draft class. And currently he is averaging 24 points a game, 4 rebounds, and 7 assists. Um, I think it's career highs in everything so far. He's also shooting 45% from three, 45% from the field, 36% from three. And his last couple games, he's had 34, 37, 39. Then he had a bad game. He had 8, and then he had 18. But I think he's a guy that should be on this list. Only 22 years old, like I said. Um, Me personally, I would have him over Reed Shepard. And it feels like I'm hating on Reed Shepard, but I don't hate him. But I don't know who they think Reed Shepard is gonna be. Hopefully he gets there because I would like to see it. But I think the things that Keontae George is doing right now, I feel like it's hard to ignore. Because he's improved a lot. He's another guy who should be in the most improved player case. And in terms of potential, I mean, I don't see Keontae George being an all-star. I mean, maybe he could be an all-star. I mean, I don't think it's tough when you're a guard in the West. It's gonna be tough to be an all-star, but he's only 22. I think he could get better, and he's averaging 24 points a game right now. So I think me personally, I would take him over Reed Shepard. I would probably take him over Asar Thompson too, because the thing we're waiting on with Asar Thompson is the offensive game. He doesn't have the playmaking ability like his brother Asar. He doesn't shoot the ball well. But defensively he is elite. And I guess you could sit here and argue and say, what is Keontae George elite at? But I feel like the way Keontae George scores the basketball and how he can create off the dribble and create for himself and others is, I don't want to say he does it in an elite way, but it's a very valuable trait in the way the NBA is played today. And it's hard to ignore. And maybe it's not with Utah, but maybe we see it with another team where he is the driving force to somebody else's offense. And Utah's searching hard for the guy. And so I've seen some people say, what if it's just Keontae George, the way he's been playing? Keontae, Josh Giddey, you can have a convo. I'm not mad at that. Keontae and Alex Sarr, you can have a convo. Keontae, Jalen Suggs, me personally, I would take Keontae George. Keontae, Dyson Daniels, me personally, I would take Keontae George. And then it gets to VJ Edgecombe at 19. This is where it stops for me. Or you can maybe have that conversation, but if this list was up to me, Keontae George would probably be in like the 20. He'd be between 25 and he'd be between 25 and 20. Maybe he'd be between 25 and 20. It wouldn't be too high, but I think he deserves some recognition on this list because for him to not even be mentioned at all, I think it's kind of crazy. And maybe other guys, maybe Derek Queen. I'm just thinking of guys at the top of my head. Maybe Derek Queen could get some love next year. I'd probably expect Cedric Howard to be on this list next year. Ace Bailey, I'm not sure yet. We'll see how that goes, but I think, the guys that should be on it next year definitely Keontae George, Derek Queen, Cedric Howard, and then we'll see if the upcoming rookies come in next year. But last thing, before we end the show, I want to do a NBA wish list. Christmas is around the corner, so things that I am wishing for the remainder of the season, for the new year. One of the things I wish for, or on my wish list, is I guess I got to get my homer one. Actually, no, I'll save that. One of my wishes is for Victor Wembanyama to stay healthy and not to deal with any more injuries. I hope that he is fully healthy for the remainder of the season. And just because whenever he plays, the Spurs are like at a different level and they are truly pushing for that contender status. And when he's playing, we see this team is just insane. So And it's also tough to watch. It's kind of tough watching them when he's not playing. I'm not saying it's a bad watch, like years past, like his rookie year when they weren't passing him the ball, but I'd much rather watch them when he's out there playing. And if he's playing for a full healthy season, who knows where they could finish in the standings. I mean, probably not first. Nobody's probably catching OKC, but we'll see what happens. And also want to see him qualify for his fucking Defensive Player of the Year because it's time. I don't want him to miss out on that again just because he got hurt. Um, my next thing on my wish list, I wish that Jason Tatum just reconsidered returning. I kind of want him to really think about his decision coming back because I don't want him to rush back and potentially get hurt again and worsen the injury. Even though he got the surgery immediately, went through the rehab, is taking it very serious. And I understand his point of view, like wanting to get out there now and just get his feet under him. I don't know if his goal and stuff is like come back, make a playoff push and all this. But I understand the sentiment of him wanting to come back and play now rather than sitting out all of this season and having to go the whole summer and then not making his debut until October 2026. And by then, you haven't played basketball in a really long time and it's going to take you a while to knock that rust off. So I understand him wanting to come back now and shaking the rust off and just getting things going. But damn, I feel like that would throw a huge monkey wrench into the Eastern Conference if he was to come back. And I guess I'm saying that selfishly as a Knicks fan. Not saying necessarily that I'm like scared of the Celtics, but I'm like, damn man, I was kind of enjoying this season without Jason Tatum, but I at the same time I do miss watching him play, so it's a little bit conflicting. I do hope he takes his time. I wish he takes his time coming back because I don't want to see something bad happening to him for rushing back. My next wish list, I wish that the Brooklyn Nets continue to win games. And you'll probably look at me like, why? You hate the Nets. Why would you wish them the success and winning games? I wish them success and more wins because I don't want them to get a top 3 pick or a top 4 pick. I want them to get the 8th pick again. I want them to get the 9th pick. I want them to, in this incredible draft class of 2026, I want them to get the 9th pick so they can miss out on a top player again. And I want to see how they respond from that. I just want to see what this front office does and how this fan base will react if they were to get the 8th pick and miss out on franchise-changing talent. Because I just want to know. Because all the talking with the picks, I know I probably sound like a broken record bringing it up, but that's just one of my wishes. My next wish, I wish for, man. Well, I think, this would be my last wish. My last wish would be for the New York Knicks to win an NBA championship. That'll be my last wish. I just love what I'm seeing from this team, the way they're playing. I know we lost to the Sixers last night, but that was one of the first losses in a while where I wasn't like it didn't hurt me. Cause the games that this team has been winning lately, me personally, I felt like we wouldn't have won those games in years past. So I mean, I knew this game a loss was coming. I'm not trying to make excuses based on the schedule, but like yesterday was our 3rd game in 4 days. coming from Vegas to Indy, then back to New York, second night of a back-to-back, I knew we were going to lose one of the Pacers or Sixers game. I just knew it was going to happen. So I wasn't really upset at the loss. And even with the loss, it was still a very entertaining game until the Knicks ran out of gas in the fourth quarter. But yeah, my wish is for them to win a championship. What I've been seeing from this team, playing together as a unit, and it's very inspiring basketball, playing without Deuce McBride and playing without Landry Shamet. Maybe they can make moves around the margins. I don't want to make a big splash Giannis trade and mess up what we have going on as much as I would love them. But I think what they've been able to do with this group of guys, I really love it. I guess to add to that wish list, if they could get Sadiq Bey from the Pelicans, I think that would be an amazing acquisition for them. But yeah, my main wish would be for them to win NBA championship. I would just want to see them get one. If they get one and they never got one again, I'd be okay with it. But I just want to. I think this group of guys, they have like that championship pedigree on this team, and I'm seeing it. I don't even think this team has reached like their peak yet in terms of level of play. I think they're only scratching the surface, and we've seen glimpses of that in the NBA Cup. So I just want to see them get one. I'm not gonna make any proclamations like I said in the beginning of the season, but I just want to see them get one because I feel like it'd be a movie if they got one. So hopefully it happens. But that's gonna do it for today's episode. Appreciate you guys for watching. We finally I think we hit 300 last week, but I don't remember if we did, but we did hit 300. So appreciate you guys. If you guys are listening on audio, please give us 5 stars. If you're watching on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe. A lot of you guys that are watching aren't subscribed, so please hit that subscribe. Follow us on TikTok at the J&J Podcast. Follow us on Instagram at the JJ Podcast 1. Happy holidays, Merry Christmas. Because by the next episode, Christmas will already pass. So enjoy the time with your families. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you next time. Peace. Yeah.